things that I wanted to show is that, I mean, the Padres are playing good baseball. Their last 16 or 18 games, they're 12-6. Their winning percentage is .667. I know they lost today. This is before the loss today, but they're playing a lot better, dude. And Merrill is a shortstop playing center field. He's a rookie. He's an exciting player. Maybe this is what the Padres need. They need that young blood to play better baseball, right? His average before, was .268 after those whole games. I believe it's 80 games, or no, I want to say 74 games. The last 18, his average is .333, 7 home runs, on base percentage is .371. Slugging went out. Look at the difference, .712. So that's crazy to see. He is a shortstop playing center field, and for the Padres, this is a scary thing if you're not a fan of them, because if you are a fan of another team and you're seeing the Padres, you're like, whatever. No, this is good because the Padres have been good for the last 4 or 5 years. And for you to sit here and say that Padres are not good and are going to do anything, that they're just a team that they have Manny Machado. Manny Machado is a cancer. Dude, this thing's right here. This is what I like to see from young studs. And, I mean, you can't pass this up. That's why I was talking about him being in the All-Star. And the Padres, dude, the Padres are doing really good for me right now. And they could be probably in our power rankings later on. We'll talk about it as well. But do you agree with me? Or maybe I'm just being a little fan of the Padres because I'm saying all these things about them, right?
Oh, don't let your Dodger friends hear this, Carlos.
Yeah, right?
But it's definitely, you're totally right. The Padres are playing much better baseball these days. It's a team that's found themselves and they're finally competing. Pitching has been much better. The bullpen's held his own. And you have Jackson Merrill, a young rookie that just keeps coming through for the Padres every time they need him. You got Luis Arias always staying on base. Manny Machado, what's going on? It feels like every time there's drama with the Padres against other teams, he picks it up. And Jurickson Profar, the guy that was called Mr. Irrelevant earlier this season, well, he was involved in another feud this week. If you guys don't know, they went ahead and played the Nationals earlier this week, and Jurickson Profar hit the game-winning hit, celebrated a little too much for the Nationals, that the following day, obviously they threw a ball at him and hit him, and then the feud started, which wasn't a fight, but the feud started in the field, saying, what the hell's going on? Manny Machado stepped up and defended his guy. And guess what? Jurickson Profar later hits a grand slam to win the game as well. And Dave Martinez, the Nationals manager, comes out to say, yes, we did hit him on purpose. We just didn't like how he celebrated. So what do you think about that, man? Every time the Padres are in some drama, they come up and show up. And that's something that's really scary to see a team in the playoffs, because it's a team that does have talent. They are receiving Drew Darvish anytime this week. Should be returning. And I don't know, man. Manny Machado, he comes and shows up when he wants to. And I wouldn't be surprised if AJ Preller sneaks up something under his sleeve and pulls out a trade to make this team even better going into the playoffs, because they're definitely a wild card team going in. And I think everybody knew they had the potential, right? But now they're showing it. I think towards the end of June, they decided to get swept by the Mets, which shocked everyone. But no, they switched it up and they beat the Brewers 3 out of 4. They went ahead and swept the Nationals, and then they beat 2 out of 3 to the Red Sox in Fenway, which was really impressive. If I was the Dodgers, I do not want to see them in the first round. Just saying that.
I don't want to see them. And you might call me whatever you want to call me. Oh, you're not a real Dodger fan, but I'm a baseball fan first sometimes. And when you see teams that are playing good baseball and they go into good playoffs this way, imagine the season was to end today and we were to face the Padres. Will we look good against them? Will we line up against them? And that's the thing that you got to answer yourself and be honest and say, you know what? I don't know. The Giants gave them a little bit of a run to this weekend, and I just don't see the 6, 7, 8, and 9 batter for the Dodgers that are not doing all that well. And I know they picked it up in the last 2 weeks, but it's just I feel like they need something to spark that lineup up. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's because they're probably slacking off a little bit, and maybe they're going to pick it up after. Because remember, the Phillies have the right mindset of saying, we're not worried about the season. We're worried about playoffs. That's when the real season starts. And if you have that in your head and you plant it from the day one when you step into that room and in the, spring training, then, of course, you're going to have that mentality. So, I don't know. There's a lot of things going on right now, and I just feel like the Padres are doing the right thing. And Preller, of course, he's going to have a trade, because if he doesn't show up to the playoffs this year, that's his head, and he's going to go. And, of course, he's going to make that trade. I mean, if he leaves, it's going to be like, all right, I traded off whatever I needed to do, and whoever comes next is going to have to deal with it. So we will see as the season goes on. Of course, we're going to have this show here whenever we go into the All-Star break, and of course we're going to go into the trading deadline, and hopefully we get to see a lot of tradings. I think pitching is the top priority for every team, so we'll see. If you haven't seen the show before, and then this is the fantasy baseball, they talked about certain pitchers there. I won't spoil it. We have Will, we have Kevin, we have Javi on that show. I believe John didn't show up at one, but he's part of the show as well. They talk good stuff on that show. I want you guys to go see it. It's a show before this one. If you guys need fantasy help, that's the show to see. Let's move on, man. Do we get into the next topic, or do we get into power rankings already? What do we do?
It's up to you, man. We got power rankings if you want. We got also the Corey Seager story.
Oh yeah, let's go into the Corey Seager